Hello everyone and welcome to another speed build. This is a build I did for my upcoming Bachelorette challenge. If you haven't seen the video where I asked you guys to upload bachelors to the gallery, I will link it down below if you're interested in watching it. And if you're interested in uploading a bachelor, you can use the hashtag ToryBachelors on the Sims 4 gallery and you can upload one for me. I would really appreciate it because I need 7 to get the challenge rolling, and I'm very excited to play. So yeah. Anyways, this house is by far the biggest house I've ever built in The Sims 4, possibly all of The Sims. I started out in Oasis Springs with the intention of building kind of like a Vegas, like modern house, thinking, oh, you know, that would be a different, interesting place to play, but it turned into like this renovated plantation style mansion somehow. So at some point later I do end up moving it to Willow Creek, which you will definitely notice. It just didn't fit in here, so I moved it there thinking it would fit in better. Once I kind of saw what the house looked like, I kind of researched plantation homes and used that for like my inspiration with the roofing and the choices and like painting and all of that. The idea behind it is that there was like a center courtyard area that maybe was like a garden space, but the person who purchased this home turned it into a pool. So as you can see, I'm working on that right now. I really tried to make this house very symmetrical, and you'll see me struggling at points like making sure I have the right number of tiles. I've noticed a lot of those homes are very symmetrical and I don't know, even, I guess that is symmetrical, but yeah, so I ended up making sure, I mean, it's not exactly symmetrical. You'll see in the next part, because this is only part 1. It took me about 8 hours to build this, so the video will be split into 2 parts, but anyways, you'll see in the next part for sure that some of the rooms are a little bit different on each side, so it is symmetrical on the outside but not necessarily on the inside. This house is massive. I mean, it really truly is just, it is a huge house. So I think it ended up being around 700,000 simoleons, so close to $1 million or 1 million simoleons. This house has 1 master bedroom with an ensuite and a very large walk-in closet. It has 2 large upstairs bedrooms, 3 bathrooms not including the ensuite, a pool, a game room, a bar, a wine cellar, a gym, a library, an office, a music room, a living room, an art studio, a kitchen, and a dining room. And it also has a couple rooms kind of filled with bits and bobs that I just didn't know what to classify them as. So yeah, it is large. I did struggle a little bit with the roofing on this house. I hadn't really encountered like problems with the room system. I know a lot of people have issues with the room systems in this house, or I mean in this game, but I hadn't really experienced it because I'd never really built a house of this magnitude, so it wasn't really an issue for me. And as you can see here, I'm kind of struggling with it, trying to make these buildings or these shapes register as rooms, because they weren't. Not so much downstairs was the problem, but upstairs really was an issue. I figured it out in the end, though. I was just kind of messing around with it to to see what would work. It was hard though, so I understand people's frustration. I'm trying to think of what is important to tell you about the house. It is on the gallery for It is on the gallery for download, and it is called Plantation Style Mansion. You can search that, or you can search my username, which is Tori Sims with the number 1 after it. So it is Tori Sims 1, and you'll be able to find all the things that I've made on there. It is very specific to the challenge I'm building it for, however. So the master bedroom is very much geared towards like the feminine side. The closet is full of women's clothing and a makeup vanity. It's not geared towards men at all. I mean, I guess a man could live there if he wanted to, but it is very feminine. And the 2 rooms upstairs have excuse me, they have lots of beds in them because they're going to be for the bachelors. So if you want, you can always take the beds out and change them around, or whatever. You can always download it unfurnished or furnished and just switch around some things. I mean, honestly, this house is so big that you could just be like, well, I don't want an artist studio, so I'm just going to get rid of that and turn it into a kid's bedroom, or I don't want this, so I'm going to change it into this, because trust me, there is plenty of room for that. Also, the bathrooms are kind of built more in the style of like public restrooms. They have multiple toilets. So yeah, just keep that in mind if you do download it. Here I'm doing the roofing. I did struggle with the roofing a little bit because I'm kind of a noob to building. I didn't really build much when The Sims 3 came out. When I had The Sims 3 in general, I just wasn't a fan of it. The game just ran terribly on my computer, so it was very glitchy, and it just made it so hard to do anything, really. I honestly just don't play The Sims anymore because of that. So I struggle still with building. Definitely roofing and landscaping are my 2 biggest struggles. But I was pretty happy with the way that both roofing and landscaping turned out with this house. I wish that they would give you a little piece. I don't know if it's like a hexagon shape or an octagon shape. I didn't see how many sides it had, but the piece that they have for like the porches that's kind of shaped like that, I wish they would give you a roof that was shaped like that to fit it, because it would make my life so much easier. I've seen people build them like out of the square pieces of roofing, but I am honestly just too lazy and too bad at geometry for that. So here I am doing the pathways. I wanted it to kind of have, I don't know, almost like a Alice in Wonderland kind of secret garden, wraparound garden feel. Like, I did a lot of hidden areas in the garden that I think are really cool. Here I'm struggling with the windows. It's so funny because I tried so hard to make the windows extremely symmetrical and balanced, and just, I don't know, I tried to make them look very nice. And then in the second part, in doing the interior, I ended up knocking out windows, so they're not even symmetrical anyways, but whatever. It still looks nice though. I just noticed that these houses are like plantation style homes are just very symmetrical, and I don't know if it was just the ones I looked at or what. I know that when I went back east to visit my family, I saw some of these like styled houses there, and they seemed the same. They seemed very symmetrical to me, so that's what I went with. This whole house kind of took a turn. It was started out Vegas modern and switched to like Southern Plantation. So I actually took that into account with my with my gardening, which you'll see. Oh, and I use this really pretty blue and white siding. I don't know. Uh, I thought that the white suited the white columns, and the blue was nice and muted, and it looked like a color that easily could have been used back in the day. But yeah, I took the southern feel into account when I was landscaping, and I put down a lot of like mesquite and magnolia trees, also some willows and oaks here and there. Um, Kind of, I don't know, I got a very like Louisiana feel from this house. I mean, I'm sure that's just like kind of, I don't know, stereotypical of me to like clump southern things into Louisiana, but no offense meant by it. I love like Louisiana culture. That's one of the places I really, really want to go in the United States. Oh, right here, I forgot about this. I put in a chimney, so I was gonna just put it on the roof, but then I realized that these old houses had like built-in chimneys. So I do that and I make it look all nice, and then I get to the inside and I realize that it's not even. But to make it even, I would have had to actually add a room or add a square to that room, and I just was not about to do that. So it the fireplace is actually a little uneven to the chimney, so if that bothers you, you can fix it, but I just was too lazy to fix it, so it is what it is. Anyways, back to my story. Louisiana is actually the one place in the US that I really, really want to visit, so it's a compliment for me to like have this be a Louisiana style house, or like me envisioning it there. I don't mean offense by it. I just really like that culture. So, anyways, moving on. I tried to change the roofing to black, but it was just too harsh against the blue and the white. So I went back to the original gray. And right here is where I moved to Willow Creek. And I'm not really sure if these kinds of plants like grow in the South, because I have never really, well, that's not true. I've been to parts of the South, but they were like more on my East Coast trip, so they weren't I've never, like I said, I've never been to like Louisiana or anything, so I don't know. Like Louisiana and Georgia and all those places, I don't know if they have these kinds of plants, but I just kind of went with what felt right with the trees, because I put in the magnolia trees and the willow trees. So I was like, the lavender looks good. And I put in some wildflowers. And I forget what those ones are called. Hydrangea? I don't remember. But I went with a blue and kind of purple overall theme with the flowers, because I thought that it complemented the blue and white housing the best. I honestly, I don't know. I'm not a big fan of the landscaping in the front of the house. I could really take it or leave it. I really like the big tree, but I just didn't know what to do with the front. As you can see, I'm testing out some stuff here, and I just don't like the way it looks. I just wish that like brick pathway was like continued over into the lot a little bit, if that makes sense, because it's so rounded in the corner, it's hard to make it look attached. I tried to cover up the corners, and I just was like, whatever, I don't even care, I'm just gonna leave it. So it's got a weird walkway, but whatever, it's a walkway. And here I'm doing the front porch. I did reuse that one. I did reuse that round carpet quite a bit, because I thought it really suited just the house in general. Oh, and this is my favorite section of the whole garden. So I put in a magnolia tree, which is the little one, and a mesquite tree. And then I did some like shrubbery and stuff. But I built like this little walkway that goes to like a little secret sitting area, and I just think it's so cute. I can't wait to use it. But this is what I mean kind of like by Alice in Wonderland secret garden type thing. Like, I just wanted it to feel large. Like, Because if you ever go to these old, I've probably said like a million times, ignore that, sorry. It's the California in me. But, anyways, if you go to these older homes and kind of explore the grounds, there's a lot of things that are kind of overgrown, and there's little areas that are almost forgotten. I know, again, back east, it's about the only place, Delaware to be specific, if you're curious. My great aunt lives there, and I was actually born there, but I I would always, like, when we would go to these old homes and look at them and stuff, I would go off and I would find like just these incredible places that almost seemed like forgotten, and it was just so, I don't know, so just beautiful and secluded. So I really wanted to kind of have that feel. Not that that's like super secluded or anything, but I just wanted to kind of give the feel of that. And here I put in the little chess table and just more landscaping. I just wanted it to feel like an adventure when you walked around. As stupid as that sounds. Sorry, I had to put on chapstick. My lips are really dry. Oh, and then I realized that the hedges were uneven, so I fixed that. If it was driving you crazy, I'm sorry. Putting in some landscaping here. Just some simple flowers along this pathway. There wasn't a lot of space to like add anything too special here, so I just kept it simple. And then right there I put in those bushes thinking that they would be kind of like archways to the outside, but then I realized there's no way to get up to them, so I tried to put in stairs, and obviously it's a fence, so that didn't work. So I just deleted them. It was not even worth trying to fix it at this point. I was like, nope, we're just gonna delete it. And then I'm not sure what the little fluffy white blossoms are. They're just called Granite Falls flowers or blossoms, something like that. But I thought they were so pretty, so I put them in kind of as a space filler. I'm trying to remember. Oh, I put in a fountain on the other side. I almost forgot. So I'll get to that in a minute. And I tried to squeeze another willow in there, but it was just too big, so I ended up going with one of the twisted oak trees. I think it's an oak. And then another magnolia tree. I love magnolias. They're so pretty. They don't particularly smell too great. Like, they kind of have... They remind me of, like, Pledge. I know that's so bad, but if you've ever smelled Pledge, they kind of have, like, almost a fake lemon smell to them. But, I mean, they don't smell terrible. They aren't the best smelling flower ever. But they're very, very, very beautiful. And there's the fountain. And then I snuck in that little... I thought it was just like a still water fountain, you know, the kind that don't really have a fountain in them, but it actually does, and I get a picture of it later in the screenshots. You'll see it's kind of bubbling. And just throwing in some more hedges and little secret garden areas. And like I said, this is part 1, and so this is just the building. Wow, I don't know why that was difficult for me, but this is just the building and the landscaping. So the next part will be the furnishing of the interior. The screenshots I took are solely of the front of the house and the little garden areas. I wasn't going to do the back of the house or anything like that because you'll see that in the next part. And I'm going to try to put the second part up on the same day as this one, and if not, it'll be on the next day, but I don't think I have anything else to tell you about it. I now that I've talked your ear off and we only have about 2 minutes left in the video, I guess I'll go and let you guys watch the rest of it. I feel like this house needs a lot of explaining because of what it is, so I'll probably do a talk through on the next part as well. Just because it's so big, and I feel like if I didn't talk through some of it, you would get a little lost in what was happening. But yeah, you'll see the screenshots at the end of this video, and I will try to upload them on the same day. If not, it will be the following day. So keep an eye out for part 2. And if you want to upload a Bachelor, use the hashtag ToriBachelors. I would really appreciate it. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to do polls and voting, so you guys will decide who Lucy ends up with. If you're interested, it will not be me deciding. It will be you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and go. Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.